Good evening, my dear colleagues. Welcome to another Inget Zoom Serious Talk. Today, our guest is Dr. Kaveh Jalilzadeh. Kaveh Hocam, who currently works for Istanbul University Cerrahpaşa, is an experienced speaker and attendee at numerous conferences, workshops, seminars, and webinars, consistently makes valuable contributions to the field of language teaching. He has also several publications in articles and publications in prestigious journals. The title of his talk this evening is Challenges of E-Assessment in Turkish Preparatory Language Schools. Thank you, dear Kaveh Hocam, for being with us, for accepting our invitation, and welcome again. The screen is all yours.
Okay, hello, thank you. The pleasure is mine. I would like to express my sincere thanks and gratitude for you, Aydan Hocam, as a distinguished scholar in the field of English language teaching in Turkey, your contribution to the field, and also esteemed colleagues and professors I can see within the participants. And also I would like sincerely thanks Iranian colleagues with a lot of internet connection issues. They have tried to join and to spend time with us. Within 2020, world was witness to a unprecedented issue, which was, let's say, exert an influence on the lives of every people. So many people lost their lives. Education totally changed. Education system was witness to so many, let's say, issues, challenges. People abruptly, suddenly have to change their teaching and practicing. In order to break ice, I would like participants to write some of their, let's say, good experiences using of technology in their English classes and language teaching. What were their, let's say, good impressions of using technology in their teaching, in their classrooms? Okay, being ubiquitous, everywhere you can participate. Thank you, Dr. Sabza Parvar. Any other comments? Okay. I would like here to cite expression by distinguished Professor Hossein Farhadi. Within the language teaching, learning, and assessment on testing processes, we have got some complications. First, teaching has got an expected result. We are, as a teacher, we are expecting, finally, we should come up with a product, with a, let's say, learning. To demonstrate that learning, we need some evidences, how any teacher should be, let's say, sure that the learning has been take place. In order to check the learning, we need some evidences, some tests. And we did these old processes in order to reach to a conclusion. The teachers going through these processes. We start with teaching them something. In order to check the learning has taken place, we are needing some evidence. In order to gain that evidences, we are trying to have tests, and based on those tests, we are making some, let's say, judgment. We are making some decision. It could be macro, it could be micro, it could be any classroom method, it could be diagnostic, and it could be any activities any teachers is doing within his or her classroom. Here we have got a teacher who has gone to the classroom and this teacher has to make a decision within a classes in order to do first he or she needs to do some kind of teaching, then she needs to check learning, and also she needs some evidence. Then it could be a test, it could be assessment, it could be project, it could be any kind of, let's say we have got so many, not necessarily we could refer here to the test, any tools which show us whether this learning has taken place or not. Teachers has to make some decisions about teaching, decisions about learning, decisions about evidences, which type of evidences I should follow. We have got for teaching some theoretical challenges. For learning, we have got some theoretical challenges. And for evidences also, we have got some evidence. There is a direct relationship between theoretical challenges with teaching, learning, and evidence. Again, psychometric challenges, in order to see whether the learning has taken place, we have to be sure to ensure the type of evidences we are using, how reliable is it, is there consistency, is there a chance score. We need some psychometric challenges for teaching, for learning, evidence, and also edumetric. Based on the scores, we are making some decision. Okay? And again, we see that all these interrelated and contextual challenges. I don't know, John, in the beginning mentioned that we are living on predictable condition. Even electricity could be cut out. It could happen a million times in your classroom. Several times I'm teaching my, let's say, instruments, my computers, my devices were not working properly. And within the contextual challenges, the teachers has got also, and these are all related, okay? Here we have got something important. Learner variables, my students, because all these are, let's say, are for the sake of their, let's say, good, for their learning, for that. And here we have got pandemic. All of a sudden, all what we have learned, all the way we have been trained, we have to change totally. Here, the literature say that suddenly we use adaptive expertise. By adaptive expertise, there are two important factors. One is efficacy, the other one is innovation. We are going to solve a problem. Suddenly, after blue sky, we have to change from face-to-face to online. The instructors and teachers who were teaching almost, they have got 10 years experiences. If by themselves they have got in service any training, most of our teachers, instructors, lecturers, we assume that we were not prepared enough to do. Then we see that there are some certain issues and challenges when we are doing assessment with a constructivist theory in mind. Sorry. Okay. The constructivist idea argues that we are, as a human beings, we are learning through our experiences, our interactions, and in the beginning of the presentation, I don't know, John says that open your cameras in order to provide some feedbacks. Okay, we are learning through each other. We are learning, and within the constructivist theory, we came up with this conclusion. What were the most challenges of preparatory English instructors in doing online assessment? Because we are doing teaching and you have to assessment as well. It could be either summative, it could be formative, it could be, let's say, learning-oriented assessment, dynamic assessment, any type of assessment, you need to do it. And what types of challenges our instructors were. The main question was, what were the main challenges of instructors in preparatory language school? I would like here to make a little bit talk about the context of Turkey, because we have got foreign guests among us. Within the Turkish community of ELT practitioner, 1 year the students supposed to participate in an English preparation program. In some universities, it is expected students acquire C1 level language. In some universities, they believe that B2 level, based on common European frame of references, the students normally have something around 600 to 800 hours of instruction within 2 semesters in order to go to their department. The present study participants were almost all instructors who were working for preparatory. They were knowledgeable. Most of them were MA and PhD holders. And when I'm saying MA, most of them were PhD students or candidates. It means that they had content knowledge. They were proficient enough in their, let's say, teaching and learning. We started with 8 questions, and the type of sampling we used, it was purposive sampling. We asked participants who were working for both foundation and state universities, private and state universities. We use semi-structured interview, extracting interview question, a thorough literature review, let's say, were done by researchers. Then they extracted questions, and based on those semi-structured questions, almost 15 minutes for each interview, we asked for consent form. All this information, all use data will be confidential. It is for the research. All ethical consideration were considered, and ask the students, ask the teachers, instructors, what would you see the main challenges in your assessing students? I hope, I don't know, John, I'm not too fast, I'm not too slow. Is it okay? Okay. We collected data, transcribed all data verbatim, and we studied all sentence by sentences. And also we did ask participants to read their transcript to check validity, whether we have been biased or not. Did you say that? We checked them with the types of data we collected through our participants. After data collection, we used MaxQDA in order to analyze the data. 3 types of coding take place: open coding, axial coding, and closed coding. Okay. And we come up with 6 main themes the instructors, lecturers argue that were the main challenging issues for them in their assessment classes. We use MaxQDA22 software, and the first challenges we came up was psychological aspects in teaching. Our instructors addressed that, argued that, asserted that the shortcomings of online assessment is psychological perspective. They say that they do not have any clue about the learner's emotional and affective status, whether they are happy, whether they are sad, whether they are anxious. And They do not have any eye contact with their students. Within the literature, we have got immediacy, nonverbal, let's say, feedback. And I'm quite sure all participants are quite familiar. Mehrabian 1986, and also Professor Sinan Özmen has done so many studies on teacher immediacies, non-verbal feedback. Since there is no eye contact, the teachers cannot provide any immediacy, okay? And you don't know, any instructors moves in a dark, okay? And know whether the communication is taking place, is it monologue, is it dialogue, who is behind? And culturally speaking, some students are unwilling to open their cameras, and teachers had so many challenges in order to convince the learners in order to use it. Okay, stress and anxiety within the psychological. They were anxious because there was a disease outside. Within the education, either teacher or the students were not sure whether the learning is, because in initial PowerPoint, we mentioned that we need some evidence whether the learning take place or not. And we were not sure whether as instructors the learning is taking place or not. Here, I would like to show it with pictures. Probably here, the picture is more, let's say, vivid. Stress and intention, stress and tension, lack of eye contact, lack of communication, because it was first experience. The students were experiencing this type of teaching for first time. Okay, I remember one of the, and it was as a personal story, everyone is paid respect. In one of my classes, in middle of classes, I heard some animals' voices because everywhere the students can join to the class from everywhere. Dog was barking, the cow was, I don't know, you can hear. And it was also entertaining, at the same time distracting, because you didn't know what kind of, let's say, strategy to, because at the same time, we are, as a teacher, we were trying to pay respect to each individual. And okay, after psychological aspects and challenges in online assessment, we had second one as a student and teacher feedback literacy. For teacher, I can understand the issue. I can say that the teachers who have got 10 years, 15 years of experience of teacher, and they have been trained probably 15 or 20 years ago, if they do not have sufficient knowledge of technology, it's acceptable. But it is mentioned for first time by Presley, digital natives, okay, and the students are digital natives. But when in the middle of the classes, again, as a personal experience, sometimes the students could not upload a Word document to Canvas. And digital literacy was one of the our issues, and either on the behalf of the teachers or on the behalf of the students, there were lack of communication. And all these factors, because we have got some distinguished scholars with us who are well known in language testing, they are all construct irrelevant factors, because those factors can exert influence on the score of the students. And they have nothing to do with the learning, but they cannot show our students, let's say, true potential and capabilities. Let's move to lack of flexibility in using and inability to use digital tools. I have to put it here, method to students. Failure of active learning in online environments. Sometimes we didn't even know the student is behind the screen or not, or he or she has left it, just computer is open, because lack of monitoring ability, because sometimes even a lot of well-known tests couldn't guarantee that their tests were done with 100% validity and reliability, because we had so many unethical, let's say, behavior even on standardized tests. The next and third one was the drawbacks of e-assessment. Some teachers have got negative attitude, though within the Turkish community of ELT practitioners, Hishmanoğlu and so other colleagues, they have argued that technology-oriented classes are welcomed by students. On the behalf of the teachers, we were witness to some resistance on a technology use, and they argue that this type of education is not appropriate. The students are not learning. The type of assessment we are doing is not appropriate. And it was our fourth, let's say, challenges. Problems in accurately assessing students' listening comprehension, because they were trying, because the teachers were perplexed, instructors were perplexed, whether these scores are to lack of technology appropriacy or the student have problem with their listening, not being confident about student learning. Instructors were not 100% sure whether the learning take place, whether there is evidence for their learning or not being a valid assessment. Some of them believe that this type of assessment is not valid. Difficulty of having formative process-oriented assessment, because they believe that they should check their student progress, because if some of the colleagues who entered in the beginning, we say that we are doing teaching, we are doing learning. In order to show learning, we need some evidences. We should be, because within this adventure and journey, we should be 100% our students have acquired the necessary skills. And error variance, how our assessment was accurate, and difficulty on assessing student progress, student lack of interest in online assessment. The next one, which is far more beyond our control, is infrastructure. I couldn't say that the type of facility I've got here, whether any instructor, any professor has got it in, I don't know, either Are, Mush, One. Do we have such a access? Today we are talking about equity and access, whether everyone has got the same facility as, let's say, appropriate as everyone else, because we were witness, I saw some videos, teachers were walking almost 10 or 15 kilometers within a snow in order to provide some online education in primary school or middle school in some part of the country in order to. And it was poor voice quality, poor internet connection, lack of attention to the students, attendance. Okay, here was the infrastructure and the issues related to infrastructures. Okay, can I have a little water? Sorry. Okay, probably the next one was ethical issues. Ethical issues in the assessment. Sometimes the teachers, again, were perplexed whether this student has performed. Is it her own score? Is there any cheating? Is there any unethical behavior because we didn't have any control on the processes. Actually, in the beginning, probably later on some advancements, but in the beginning, we couldn't say that 100% we were sure about cheating, plagiarism, or and also some other scores. Here, uh, untrustworthy test result as a result of cheating, no clear policy for cheating, plagiarism, and problems of uh, reliability because there was no consistency. Okay, and instructors didn't know that whether their score is belong to students or not. And the last one, inefficiency of remote classes. Sometimes the instructors argue that their way of assessing a student were not efficacious enough. They couldn't argue that they don't believe that it was appropriate and suitable, and they come with these reasons: lack of students active participants, lack of teacher full supervision, students not taking online class seriously, okay, and online education is boring, teachers not raising students consciousness, teacher student physical distance, students getting distracted easily, some courses and are taught effectively, some others may not be taught effectively. Informality of online classroom environment. These were 6 themes that we came up within this present study. In conclusion, this study set out to explore multifaceted challenge and issue encountered by English language instructors when they were assessing their students' ability and skills in their online. The findings have illuminated 6, we mentioned those 6: psychological, ethical, teacher and student feedback literacy, teacher and student technology literacy. All and all these issues were directly related to challenges of online assessment. So what are the implications of this study? Hocam, there is a Turkish proverb, kuru fasulyenin faydaları. The main point, okay? The finding of this study carries significant implication for various stakeholders in a realm of English as a foreign language teaching, e-assessment, particularly within the Turkish preparatory language study. It could be critical areas within education and required effort to address the challenging and opportunities. Teacher training and professional development. Probably 15 years ago, our innocent teachers didn't have any chance to learn anything about technology. Now they are learning by themselves. They are trying to empower themselves by learning, by autonomous learning, watching videos, participating in different. They are doing so many altruistic activities in order to empower themselves to learn about both technological skills and pedagogical knowledge are crucial for our teachers. They need them. And nowadays, with the new advancement on artificial intelligence, still we have got another, let's say, challenges our teachers need to brush up their competencies and knowledges. Technological integration. EFL instructors should be proficient enough in the integration of technology in their learning practices. The schools and institutions should make priority to the amalgamation of technology and learning. Assessment redesign. There is a necessary in order instead of just single product-based assessment, learning-oriented assessment should be replaced with old system of midterm and because in this case you are preventing the students from cheating and by single score because within you are going to make the tasks in small pieces and piece by piece when the learning is taking place the students are rewarded, they are motivated, and they are learning at the same times you are prevented any unethical behavior within the classes. Infrastructures, the governments and universities could provide our instructors with better facilities, with better foundations in order to fulfill their online tasks and duties very well. Curriculum adaptation, within this curriculum, the integration of technology and also materials. We have got a term in teacher enactment. It has been mentioned by Karen Johnson, Penn State University, one of the teacher education distinguished scholars. Sometimes teachers argue that the types of materials they are using, they are not, let's say, meet their students' needs, and they need to do some kind of teacher enactment in order to do that dovetail with the students' needs and wants. Final remarks, the implication of this study, importance of coordination, collaboration among all stakeholders, okay? We shouldn't put all the duty on the shoulder of instructors, teachers, because they are already doing a lot of altruistic affairs and works in order to fulfill the needs of their students and learners. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much.
Thank
Hocam,
you, Hocam.
shall I?
Excellent points, very informative talk. I don't know how to thank you because maybe our foreign participants do not know, but after the pandemic, when we started teaching face-to-face again, the earthquakes struck
Yes,
Turkey.
yes.
And then we had to move back to online teaching again. So this suffering never ended, unfortunately.
Hocam, can
But
I exit PowerPoint or shall I stay? Can I exit PowerPoint or
of
which?
course you can. Of course you can. Yeah, people are thanking you in the chat box. If you can see the chat box, you can see that. And if you have any
Hocam,
questions,
I was just watching you and I was waiting for.
yeah, but we still have time. Your time management was excellent.
Okay, thank you.
And I could listen to you 1 more hour. uh, Despite the fact
Here,
that you were talking about very hurtful facts, these were very hurtful. And the point where all of the teachers started focusing their attention on cheating, plagiarism, when it came to assessment, online assessment,
Aydan
I
Hocam.
loved when you said we can use assessment where students learn while being assessed and then they won't cheat. That's an excellent, excellent point. Yes,
Uh,
Kaveh Hocam, please go ahead.
I personally believe that there is someone, if I I have not been thankful and hocam Türkçe söyleyebilir miyim burasını?
Of course you can, of course. I don't
Hocam
know
bir
whether all the participants can understand Turkish though. Can
okay.
you guys? Okay, you just go ahead, say whatever you want to say in
Hocam
Turkish and
okay
yes.
hocam bir hocanın yani buradaki olan bütün hocalarıma saygım sonsuz ama bir hocama minnetimi ve o bana geçtiği emeği söylemezsem sanki haksızlık olur.
Tabii.
İran Language Testing toplumuna Hüseyin Ferhadi hocamın, profesörün çok emeği var. Bizim de üzerimizde. Buradan çok ona minnettarım. Çok
Hı
benim
hı.
üzerine Professor Hüseyin Ferhadi çok emek verdi. I would like to thank my esteemed Professor Hossein Farhadi, who has contributed a lot to Iranian community of language testing and assessment.
Hmm.
And is still, he is my mentor, is still he's supporting us, and he's in Yeditepe University.
Ah,
Trained,
okay.
uh, he has trained so many powerful people in Turkey as well. I would like sincerely to thank him as well.
Yeah. Do you have any questions or remarks? Ali Hocam, you had a question related to ediometric challenges. Would
Yes,
you want
hocam.
to ask that?
That was the first time I saw the term edumetric challenges. So I wondered what are they?
Okay, in 2015, if I'm not making mistake, Assessment Quarterly published a paper by Professor Hossein Farhadi. Within this paper, Professor Farhadi is talking about three different area of language assessment: linguistic area, psychometric area, and edometric area. First, we started with LADO because if you remember, we mentioned with theory of teaching, theory of assessment, theory of testing. In a LADO, the language was considered as a separate, let's say, piece of languages. In this case, the tests normally were discrete point language tests. And also after LADO, Aller mentioned a model and a unitary hypothesis. They believe that all language competences consist of a unitary hypothesis. In 1980, if I'm not making mistake, again, Professor Faraday proposed an idea on a divisibility of language competences, and they checked that then edometrics, when you are making decision based on a score, it's called edometrics. There are so many factors within this edometrics, the contextual factors, whether you are testing a student just what by single test, a grammar, are you testing a student, the form can play a crucial role, the content can play a crucial role. I personally believe that probably the best answer for you will be 2015 Assessment Quarterly, Professor Hossein Farhadi's article on 3 decades of language assessment, something like this.
So it's very much like using metrical measurement in
Yes,
education.
yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Uh, can you spell Professor Farhadi's name in the chat box, please?
Hossein Farhadi.
Hussein, yeah.
I will write it.
And he is at Yeditepe University, right?
Yes, yes.
I'll approach him if he accepts. The problem, Kaveh Hocam, is Istanbul is a totally different country. We don't know the academics there, academicians there. You have your own country. So we are getting these names from you guys, see? I don't know, for example, what a terrible mistake not to know Professor Farhadi.
Aydan Hocam,
Yes, Kaveh.
there is a question at chat box. Are you reading it, or
Uh,
shall we
regarding the
stick to the
challenges.
summative assessment, or
Huh.
we should?
Okay. Uh, shall we stick? Shall we still need to stick to machine mediated summative assessment, or moving toward formative evaluation is an alternative? What do you think, Uja?
Hocam, within the realm of language assessment, mostly in most well-developed countries, they are moving more toward learning-oriented assessment. They argue that assessment is not separate from learning and teaching, because within each classes, two-thirds of your classes devoted to your assessment. It doesn't mean that always you are giving paper and pencil. Even a
Mm,
single questions, even a single feedback is also. Uh, I personally believe that even the new technologies and advancements, for the same reason, today everyone is talking about student feedback literacy, teacher feedback literacy, and the world is moving toward learning oriented assessment. Instead of one score, they are going to see all your portfolios, what you have done with your writing, what you have done with your speaking, what you have done with narration, what you have done with storytelling. All and all, within small pieces, you are being assessed, and based on those assessment, teachers, instructors evaluate overall performance by providing feedback. Here, I would like to mention a point, and it's a cultural issue. Sometimes within a geography we are learning, so many studies have been work on a teacher's cognition. Simon Berg has done a lot of studies on teacher's cognition. I personally believe that students' cognition have been untouched,
mhm,
because there are so many students mindset when they are, you are providing feedback instead of feedback literacy, because the first thing in feedback literacy is appreciation of feedback. They are
mm,
bargaining for a score. Hocam olmuş da, hocam burası olmuş. Instead of learning, they are bargaining for a score. This
mm,
mindset should totally change. This mindset totally changed, and probably it is because of the gap we have got between high school and
mm,
university,
mm,
because they are
mm,
coming with that mindset. I am here to
mhm,
get your hand. I am here to take you through this journey and adventure. I'm not
mhm,
here to
mhm,
pull your leg, or I'm
mhm,
just trying to give you something more. Okay, hocam, some
mhm.
hands are up.
Yes, I can see that, but I was waiting for you to finish your sentence. Karim Hoca, yes, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
I'm I'm with you from Finland, and thank you, Dr. Jalilzadeh, for your presentation. I just had one question about the teacher's assessment literacy, and if there was any activity done for helping them during the pandemic area. And I want to know specifically, were there any specific measures taken by, I don't know, the Ministry of Education, I think, is responsible for the education in Turkey. So were there any measures taken for developing the teachers' assessment literacy to equip them with the requirements for the assessment, for online assessment specifically?
Okay, dear Karim, thank you for your joining. In Turkish, there is a proverb says that iyi hasta doktoruna gidermiş. In assessment literacy, I have already published 6 papers in assessment literacy. The problem is within the assessment literacy is still we are fighting with psychometrician. The psychometrician camp says that the teachers should know Rausch analysis, item response theory, factorial analysis, structural equation modeling. But learning-oriented camp like Dina Tagari, Kristin Kuhn, and so many, they believe that the teachers should have knowledge of classroom assessment. Within the field, to the best of my knowledge within the literature, the only project which have been run for assessment literacy has been European project by Dina Tagari Karim Vogt. I was invited for Norway online speech for Dina Tagari's PhD classes on language assessment. They have done it, and they have got a website. They have put materials. Chinese and Hong Kong are working a lot on online assessment and literacy. Recently, I have seen 2 or 3 papers, but within Turkey, to be honest, I have no idea. Okay, but I know that some webinars, some, if I'm not making mistake, dear Dr. Merve Seljuk has done something for some of private schools and state universities. But if anything with government, to be honest, I have no idea. And also and here we are in middle. What we should teach our teachers? Do they should know learning-oriented assessment, classroom assessment, or our teachers need to know, I don't know, CAR 20 in order to take item facility, item bay index, or criterion reference testing, or I don't know, item facility reliability, and so many other factors. Because if you go there, there are 2 camps. Some believe that they should do psychometrics. Some other believe that they should know about classroom assessment. I hope I have answered your question to some extent.
Yeah, sure. I got what I
Kaveh,
wanted to know.
I would also
And
like to add something here, just to give you brief information. By the way, Turan Hocam, I saw your hand. The Ministry of Education usually deals with the primary, secondary, and high schools. It does not deal with higher education. YÖK is responsible for higher education. The ministry, unfortunately, uploads hundreds of videos on their channel and expects all the teachers to watch these videos to learn. Now, we all know this is not how people learn, just by watching. Some teachers I know enter this channel, push the button, start, and then leave the screen. Go and have a cup of tea, have a nice chat, watch a television, program, or watch a movie, whatever. This is not how you educate your teachers. This is not how you help your teachers for their professional development. In order to be politically correct, I'm not going to say anything else. YÖK has nothing to do with the universities, although it is the responsible institution. As Kaveh Hocam has mentioned, universities themselves try to catch up with with the solution possibilities, alternatives. How many of them managed? I really don't know. I think some just survived, some educated their instructors, preparatory school instructors, I'm saying, and they did a good job. But this is a sad picture that I can draw.
thank you. Thank you so much for the information. Thank you.
Turan Hocam,
Yeah.
thank you for your participation. Turan Hocam, go ahead, please.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for this nice presentation to Kaveh Hocam, and thank you for you to give us such an opportunity to discuss such issues
Turan
almost
hocam,
every
Thank
week.
you.
you were in the left, suddenly you came in the right. I am looking for you. I have voice and I am looking for feet. Okay, yes.
Uh, Assessment is a very important issue, in fact. But when I look at the history of language learning, it is usually ignored, just left to the teacher. And a lot of teachers think that assessment is just psychometric issue. Then it is based on usually behaviorism and get rid of learning pace of students, individual variety. So it is just, based on full learning. I mean, tam öğrenme modeli, okay? So within a certain time, the teacher just introduces the input, and after certain time, the teacher just expects students to learn and to produce or to recognize the input.
True.
So in that case, who guarantees that all the people within this certain fixed time will get the input, process it, and produce it with certain accuracy? So
Mhm.
that is the fallacy, in fact, or fallacy of testing. So that's why I support classroom-based assessment, because you can follow the students' progress individually without comparing with each other.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
especially in prep programs, that should be followed, I guess.
Mhm.
Otherwise, if we just expect students, once you introduce the input, then you expect them to be able to use it just like a native speaker with
Mhm.
100% accuracy.
Yeah.
So first of
True.
all, we should decide, especially with the preparatory program, because we have A1 level, A2 level, B1 level, B2 level. We don't have B2 level because that's another mistake. I believe that in a lot of prep programs, the exit level is B1 plus now.
Yeah.
Then if the students just exit the program with B1 plus, they won't be able to read an academic paper or chapters of the books because they need advanced grammar. They have to be
Mhm.
aware of reduced clauses, complex structures, even some exceptional situations within them. But
Mhm.
B1 plus level, they will just get input, maybe some clauses like non-clause, adjective clause, adverbial clause. If you think
Mhm.
about the grammatical issue, then at the end of the day, if they don't know the certain grammatical discourse, they won't be able to get the right picture. Then they read and try to understand something, as in Turkish we say, beni bir tek sen anladın Nalan ama yanlış anladın. So they have the wrong picture in their thinking balloon. That's what
Mhm.
I have
Mhm.
with my own students. So
Mhm.
in that case, the testing issue is always problematic. So but on the other hand, we have to follow the regulations. Well, we have to, for example, in our department, we have to give one midterm at least and one final exam. Then what I do is I just give less percentages for the achievement. Then plus I give them weekly based assignments. Then I say that this is going to be at least 30% of the achievement,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
only
Mhm.
midterm and final. Or
Mhm.
if I had a
Mhm.
chance, I would increase it like 60%. So
Definitely. Definitely.
uh, another question is, what do we test? Grammar, vocabulary, uh, content, and what's the content of language? That's another question.
Oh, John, that's
So,
another presentation.
so the
That's
content is there.
totally a different session.
Then the topics that the textbook authors have just provided to you. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
if you just present it as input, then the content of the testing or assessment will be the textbook contents as well.
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
you just limit
Mhm.
the language with the textbook. That's
Yeah.
another fallacy. So
Yeah.
that's why, of course, we have to follow certain textbooks because we have 25 hours a week. Then the
Mhm.
teacher cannot provide all the materials. But the textbook is one of the materials now because we have a lot of facilities like films, videos, other materials, PowerPoint
Yeah.
presentations, etc. So
Yes. Yes.
another issue is to what extent we can create autonomy among our students
Turan
through
Hocam,
teaching and testing.
can we just wrap it up? Because I know that you have a lot to give,
Yeah,
but we cannot cover everything
of course,
right
of course.
now.
Thank
And I have another participant raising their
All right,
hand. So
I'll
if it's
start.
Aydan
okay
Thank
Hocam,
with
you.
you, yeah, sure, Kaveh
Thank
Hocam.
you.
just a
You're
single
welcome.
sentences answer to Turan Hocam with all
Uh-huh.
respect. We have got a term in language testing. It is called consequential validity, which was
Mm,
coined by late Tim McNamara, Melbourne University, the impact of tests on social lives of people. I don't
mm-hmm,
want to name any organization. Please just look at our 20 years standardized test in the country.
mm,
Vocabulary, reading, and grammar, just name changed. Okay.
mm-hmm,
Within
mm-hmm,
this frame of thinking, all the students, because finally they would like to have a job. In order to
mm-hmm,
have a job, they have to pass those exams.
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
Okay. As a consequential validity, the people who have power, the people who are making a lot of money, they are
yeah,
deciding for us.
yeah,
mm-hmm,
that's right.
mm-hmm,
And they are
mm-hmm.
usually native speakers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gila.
Gila,
Gila
yes. Gila, please
from
go ahead.
Tehran. Yes.
Unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Yes, Sheila. Sheila, we hear you. You can ask your question.
Oh, okay. Thank you, first of all, for actually this brilliant presentation. It was really insightful for me. And thank you again for providing this golden opportunity for all of us to think about the assessment and technology and issues regarding this. Well, I support classroom-based assessment, and I do believe that, well, there are a lot of problems regarding assessment and regarding the ethical issues in classroom, online classroom, for example. But we live in 21st century classrooms, and we live in 21st century. So these 21st century classrooms are increasingly embracing new technologies for facilitating everything for students and teachers. All right, for example, in terms of, because we encounter the AI injected classrooms, or as a teacher, for example, you need sometimes go and get help from AI. I personally, I do it as a teacher. You need sometimes to facilitate the process of, I don't know, making presentations, sometimes to use technology, and nowadays AI. So, we need to consider the sanguine side of technology as well. For example, in terms of online classes, as a teacher, if my students try to cheat, or if my students try to run away from class, or I don't know, drinking tea or something like that, as a teacher, I think I equip myself with the creativity and TPAC, technological pedagogical content knowledge. For example, I can create in Adobe Connect a group, all right, and challenge my students in the group and ask them some questions at the same time. They force to answer, they force engage themselves in the process of learning in the online classroom. So I think yeah, I do believe that the dark side of technology and assessment through technology, I do believe that the ethical issues, I'm in favor of classroom based assessment. But if we think about the new arena and the arc of revolution in the 21st century, we need to do something and make a balance, and try to eradicate some of the I don't know, problems regarding this issue. And I think it is rooted, first of all, in the policies, and then we can talk about the, I don't know, infrastructure issues or ethical issues. So yeah, this is my point. Thank you again, dear doctor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution.
You're welcome.
Since we
I
are
love this meme, Kaveh Hocam. I don't know whether you have heard this or seen this meme. I keep saying it. It goes like, we have done a lot about AI. artificial intelligence, what are we gonna do about human stupidity? So I love that
Yes.
meme. It's a wonderful thing because whatever teachers do to involve their students, to engage their students, students can always come up with some kind of a strategy to beat that. They can always, I have seen so many excuses, like they freeze the screen. They say, I lost the internet. I don't have a connection. I think the major problem is students are not aware of the fact that learning is a huge reward and they don't want to learn. This is the result of a long political thing. Students have started to learn ways of beating the system rather than learning how to learn. Hopefully, one day, if I can see that, that will be great. One day, we will go back to have students who are eager to learn, who run after the teacher to learn. Teach me, that kind of student. Let's keep praying. Let's keep praying. It may happen. You never know.
Hocam, we mentioned it actually. It is the student cognition. We need to
Yeah.
work on it. You are trying to teach something. Hocam olmuş. Okay. Ama hocam diyor olmamış.
Yeah.
If you are insisting that just
Yeah.
for a score, if it is product based, and we need to start from our previous education system, not just all in university system.
Yeah. As they say, 7 is too late. They should start learning at preschool level. Kaveh Hocam, I really don't know how to thank you.
My
What a
pleasure, hocam.
wonderful topic. What a great session. Thank you very much
Pleasure
for
is
sharing.
pleasure is mine, hocam. Here I would like to refer to one of the colleagues, Dr. Behruzi has mentioned just it is not technology. You know that online assessment is context-based. To some extent, something is for all countries. But unfortunately or regretfully, our professors and instructors in our community, I mean Iran, they have limited access to the internet. Okay, it says some macro policies and instructors, lecturers. I personally believe that tonight at least 20 people who would like to join, but their internet cannot provide them such a chance.
What
Okay,
a pity.
yes, and sometimes there are some things they are far more beyond our control. We couldn't do anything, and those things
Do they
happen.
have access to YouTube channel?
With proxy, sometimes yes, with proxy, and sometimes the speed is very slow. You couldn't
I
open
see.
both proxy and internet, sorry, and YouTube channel as well.
Yeah. Azra Hocam has always been with us from
Yes,
the very beginning for 2
yes,
years now. She's a huge supporter of our association and
community.
webinars, and she has become a member of our family, in fact. And she does that with limited internet. Sometimes I can count like 5, 6 times her internet connection gets lost and then she comes back. She goes away again, comes back. She struggles a lot. But I do appreciate you, Azra Hocam.
My pleasure. I learned a lot from session, and thank you, Kaveh Hocam, so informative session, and happy to see you all, and really I learned a lot today.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, my dear colleagues, we have these sessions on every Friday. Of course, on national holidays or religious holidays, or for example, last week we didn't have one because it was the we commemorated Atatürk's death, 10th of November. So we don't have sessions on those special days, but otherwise every Friday we have a guest speaker and a different topic, and we published a video the next week, following week, on YouTube. So if you have access to internet, if you cannot join us live, you can watch the video maybe. These are all free. Okay, these are because INGED tries to help people to improve themselves professionally and personally. And believe me, at this age, and I'm a full professor, Turan Hocam is also a full professor, I'm still learning. There's so much to learn. There's no end.
Aydan
And
Hocam,
hopefully, yes,
there,
Kaveh Hocam.
there is a English proverb, I am jealous of you. It means that I appreciate your success in an English context, not American. To be honest, I am jealous of you. Very active, mashallah, mashallah. Really, I appreciate your contribution to the
Thank
field.
you,
And
Hocam. Thank you.
sincerely, I really, really appreciate your devoting your time, and we will do this. You are very you have got a very high perseverance and grit and resilience. I
Kaveh
appreciate.
Hocam, thank you. Without your support, I can't do this. All my colleagues support me, and if you continue supporting me, I will continue doing this until the last day of my life.
Okay, Hocam, they are asking for YouTube channel. If you could share it.
İnge Türkiye. İnge Türkiye, let me write it.
Shared, some colleagues
I
shared.
shared it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hocam, do we have
You can-
some pictures?
Oh yeah, we can. Yes, why not? Guys, if you can turn on your cameras, give us a big smile. 1, 2, 3. I will send it to you from Facebook, okay?
Thank you, Hocam.
Ali Hocam, have you taken one as well?
Hocam, I will send it through WhatsApp.
Okay. And I will pass it to Kaveh Hocam. My dear colleagues, what a wonderful evening we had together. Thank you very much for joining us, for being with us. Kaveh Hocam, thanks a million again and again, and hope to have you again sometime in the future, maybe with another heart-burning topic related to testing and assessment.
The pleasure is mine. I would like to have also sincere thanks to all our colleagues, distinguished colleagues, my colleagues from Istanbul Cerrahpaşa University, and also colleagues from Iran, and also all over. I really appreciate for their time and presence. I hope I could do anything which were beneficial for all our community. Thank you all.
Yes. Serap Hocam, you can find us on every social platform. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We are everywhere. If you want to find us, you can find us everywhere. My dear colleagues, stay safe, take good care of yourselves, and hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye, everyone.
Aydan Hocam, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.